Today is going to be, all about cleaning. Because weather's finally getting nice again. You guys can see. All the cars need cleaned. So we gotta do the Vet, the Cadillac, the 8.6. Probably pull the wife's truck out back to it. Both Celicas need washed off. So today is gonna be a big cleaning video. So we're gonna go through. We're gonna clean all the cars. We're also going to kind of go through just an update of how everything is doing, what all is going on, what's coming up, what I'd like to get done with some of these things in the fairly near future, and kind of go from there and talk about what's coming up in about less than a month from now. Hopefully, kind of have a good update on everything for you guys. But first, before I do any of that, we gotta go to Walmart. A couple things I want to get to make today easier, namely a extension for the hose from our power washer, and one of my buddies had his really nice clip-on phone mount for his RC remotes. I would like one, or two, or three. So I think we're gonna go pick up a couple of them, pick up that, get the Corvette out for a minute, and when we come back, we'll hopefully, as long as the weather holds, because it's supposed to maybe rain today, but it doesn't feel like it's made up its mind yet, because it still seems really nice out here. So, and we'll get started washing some stuff, and probably knock out a couple of the ones that need done, but ain't much to tell you about, just to get them out the way, and then we'll get on to the ones that actually have a bit of an update or something to talk about. Alright, well, we're back from Walmart. Got two things. A buddy of mine on TikTok, goes by Hobby Rob, uses these on his RC remote. And he can clip it on and he can hold his phone with the remote, which I kind of thought was awesome. So that is something I desperately needed. So I bought two of them. And frankly, I am tired of fighting with my short hose for my pressure washer. So I bought a 35-foot hose with the adapter to hook two hoses together, which I think will give me right around 60 foot of hose when it's all said and done. So I think my other one's got a 25 foot. My other hose is a 25-foot hose because it just barely reaches around the Cadillac. So yeah, hopefully that'll get everything done, because that should allow me to get all the way around the Cadillac without moving anything. Same with the truck. At least that's the hope. That poor MG. It looks so sad. Alright, gonna get ready to start on the first one. Starting about 3 hours later than I originally planned. I got busy doing some other stuff. So, yeah. But before we go ahead and get started, we're going to go ahead and take a second and talk about today's video sponsor. Super Clean, with their all-new all-wheel and tire cleaner. Works great on road grime, dirt, and brake dust. Just spray it on and then wash it off and watch all of that go away, leaving you with a nice, clean-looking wheel. Which brings us to the original Super Clean Original Degreaser that works great in its original formula or its new foaming formula. Just spray it on and then wash it away and watch all of the oil, grease, dirt deposits, anything you can think of that you don't want in your engine bay, just wash away with a simple spray, leaving you with a nice clean engine bay no matter the mileage. You can find Super Clean in all of its products at all of these locations. Thanks for watching. after living with the vet for a little while, the plans aren't really crazy for the vet. Basically, what I'd like to do is I want to get rid of the carburetor. It has a 670 Holley 4-barrel on it right now. I would really... it's so hot out here today. I would really like to swap that out with a Holley Sniper EFI kit. Other than that, I don't really want to change anything on it. And maybe, well, I'll take that back. I'm about 1,000% sure that the Y-end intake on it is a single plane. I'd like to pull that off and put a dual plane on it. I think with the way I drive it and with the amount of in-town driving I do, dual planes tend to have better low-end manners than they do top-end, versus a single plane is normally an all top-end intake. So I'd like to swap those two out. Other than that, I don't really want to change a lot about the car. I like the way it looks. I like the way it drives. It needs some new tires at some point in the near future, and I want to reupholster the driver's side seat. Otherwise, this is kind of how it's going to stay. This wasn't really bought to be anything for the channel. This was a bucket list car that I wanted to buy, and I intend to enjoy it until something else comes up. It's the only other thing to say. So, all right, time to move on to the next car. I don't know which one that's going to be yet, but we're going to move on to the next one. And the next one up is going to be the most land yachtiest of the land yachts. Cadillac, because, well, I had the key in my pocket already. So, Cadillac. I think instead of trying to get all fancy like I did with the Corvette, to kind of speed things up, considering this thing is going to take forever to wash in itself, I'm just going to throw you guys in the old tripod there, throw it on time lapse, and just get it done. Oh, I wish that took as little time to do as time-lapse makes it seem like. Because holy crap, that took a minute. So, and as you guys probably seen, or paid attention to at least, I didn't scrub the bottom half of the car. And that's because, well, I didn't want to ruin my poor mop there with chunks of rust. So it didn't get done. Not that it really needed it anyway. Washing this car is kind of, I don't want to say it's pointless, but it's just to make me feel better, more or less, because washing it doesn't really change anything. What it needs is another coat of shine juice, or as the wife calls it and labeled it, the caddy wax, which is just basically linseed oil and mineral spirits. So we got to oil it up again so it gets its shine back. But plans for the Cadillac. This honestly has more plans for it than I think anything else in the driveway besides the Corolla. And most of the plans for the Corolla are just to get it done. So this thing, ultimately, I got some frame repair I need to do in the back, like back past all the suspension stuff, just to kind of make me feel better. Doesn't realistically need done other than the fact that it supports the trunk. I got some spots in the trunk I'd like to patch, a couple spots in the floorboard I'd like to patch. I don't really plan to change a lot body-wise on this car. I don't plan to paint it. I don't plan to do a ton of rust repair. It's just, I'm going to leave it pretty much the way it is body-wise. But I, again, kind of like with the Corvette, I would like to swap this thing to a Holley EFI or a Jegs Bandit EFI setup to replace the Edelbrock. Not because this one doesn't run good with the carburetor on it. I think fuel injection on this big old girl would actually help fuel mileage, at least a little bit. So if I could do that and get this thing to where maybe I could pull teens going down the highway in it, I would be ecstatic. Other than that, I would really like to put airbags on it. I want to change the wheels and tires. I want to put a semi decent-ish radio in it at some point. Probably the radio itself will be hidden in the glove box, and then all the speakers will be hidden, obviously. But I want to make this thing into kind of my ultimate cruiser. I have no intentions of getting rid of this car. The only way this thing leaves is if I become super desperate for money for some reason, or I get my hands on a 6234 Impala. Whether that would be a 2-door or a 4-door. Obviously, I would prefer a 2-door if it's replacing the Cadillac, but I would be perfectly content with a 4-door, or my God, if I found a wagon, I'd be in heaven. That's the only way this leaves, because this is probably, as crazy as it sounds, even though it is, when I say I have a group of shit boxes, this is the shit box. Well, okay, no, that is the shit box. This is the functioning shit box, though. This is probably my favorite car to drive, because it's the most comfortable. We all fit in it, and I am trying to talk, sir. You need to calm down. So, is the one I absolutely do not want to get rid of. It would go before some of the other cars just because of sentimental things, but it is the one I have probably the biggest plans for outside of the Corolla and the Nova. The Nova, which isn't here. Eventually, you guys are going to see that on this channel. I'm just waiting for my brother-in-law to tell me I can come pick it up. But yeah, those are the plans for the Cadillac. I don't know how soon I'm going to get started on any of that, because realistically, I've told myself I don't want to start doing anything big with this until this is driving. And the biggest thing stopping this from driving right now is, well, me. I have not had the motivation to come out here and work on it lately. Realistically, the guy was supposed to have come over by now to do the Y pipe for it, and he hasn't, because, well, I've not been motivated to get done what I needed to get done before he does the Y pipe. Therefore, he's not had me tell him to come do it. So he's just kind of waiting on me, and I am waiting on me. So, because the moment I realized I needed to change these out, it kind of killed every ounce of motivation I had to come out here and work on this thing. Which is my own doing, I admit. But it's something I need to get over, and I need to come out here and start wrenching on it again. I have some time coming up in May where I am off for like 12 days straight. At least 4 of those 12 days, I'd like to come out here, spend working on this, get those cables swapped out, and then start connecting wiring and see if I can get the thing to fire. If I can get that done, if I can swap those cables, get this thing to where I can hit the key and hear it make some noise, I think you're going to be seeing nothing but this car till it's finished. So, yeah. All right. Enough of that. You've heard what's going on with that. I think we're just going to finish up the last one that's setting outside. Because, well, it's going to be the next easiest one to get out. And, yeah, we'll just talk about it now. So, there are no plans for this car. This car is the one the wife enjoys to drive. I enjoy to get it out every once in a while and drive it. It is just a good car. There's nothing about it I want to change that I haven't already done, and all that was done, well, that was all done pre-YouTube for me. So, it's already got coilovers on it. It's already got a full exhaust. It's got strut tower braces, got wheels and tires. For me, this thing needs nothing other than probably a new set of tires. What is making all that noise? Ooh. Poppy, poppy. All right. So, and this is my car payment as well. So, I don't do a lot to it because, well, it's expensive and it drives really well as is. And did I mention it's expensive? if there was ever something in my life that was going to stop me, if things went right, from quitting my job and just doing YouTube full time, it's this, because the payment on it sucks. But there's only a few more years of that, and then it's paid off. So this is also, like I said, this is the wife's favorite of the whole group. If she picks a car to drive on a daily basis out of the cars besides her truck, it is this. She chooses this every time, which is odd because it was my dream car, and yet she drives it all the time. How's that work out? But yeah, I said there's no real plans for this other than enjoy it, let her enjoy it, because it is it's a 5-speed, or it's a manual, not a 5-speed, it's a 6-speed. It's a manual that she can actually drive, because with her wrist injury she had a few years ago, it has severely limited her ability to shift. And this car shifts well enough that she can basically kind of hold her wrist stiff and still get through all the gears. So she doesn't have to, like with this thing, you're kind of rocking your wrist to go in and out of gears because of how short the gears are. Admittedly, she's not a fan of the Vet. She doesn't even want to drive it. So I don't see there ever being a time where that's an issue for her. And she's admitted she's kind of scared to drive the Cadillac. So that really narrows the cars down to these three. She's never driven this one since I built it, and I think that kind of worries her, because I think she's afraid to be the one to hurt it. We all like cruising in this, but I think ultimately she finds it boring, and that is just her favorite play toy. So that's why it stays. Because by now, honestly, if it wasn't for her, that would probably already be gone. I would have traded it in on a Supra or a Hellcat or something else extremely dumb. Yeah, all right, time to move cars around and get it cleaned. So yeah, shutting up. What you doing? Did you get a boo-boo? Hey,
I got
you got a Band-Aid for your boo-boo? Someone got a scratch on their arm, so we had to put a Band-Aid on.
Yeah.
So
And I went outside.
yeah, is that why you're done outside? The way this weather is looking, I think Dad's not going to be outside much longer either, because it's getting kind of bad quick. So Dad needs to get these done.
Okay.
You going to go inside and watch some cartoons while I finish this up?
I want to tell you.
Yeah. You going to help me? You going to watch me wash the 8.6? Or you going to go inside and... Oh, Daddy already washed the Vet. Already washed the Vet, and I already washed the Cadillac. I got to do the 8.6 now. You gonna watch me do the 8.6? Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess Dad should get his phone put up in the mountain. We should start watching it. You can drop your ball. You have to pick it up. So I will say this is by far the prettiest car out of the whole group when it is clean, especially when the sun's out. When the sun's out, it is not out no more. Someone was a big help. Were you a big help cleaning the wheels? Yeah, that was someone's first time using the power washer. So yeah, this thing really needs a good polish. Unfortunately, I ain't got time to do that today. Nor do I really have the weather for it today now. So, but yeah, there we go. There's number 3. Now I'm questioning whether or not I can get number 4 or 5 done. So, because I got to get them out of the garage and do them. So, I think I got to move a couple things and I'll get at least one of them backed out and we'll get it done. Probably get the Cadillac moved. get one of them out and get it washed, because we'll get the main one out that I need to talk about and wash it and go from there. I hate Ohio. I literally just went and put everything up because it started to sprinkle. As I was getting ready to get the convertible out, as one of his neighbors stopped by, was talking to me for a minute. I walk inside to let the kids know that I'm putting everything up, and I'll be done in a minute, and I got to run up and talk to their mom. I come back out and the sun's shining. So now I don't know what I want to do. I don't know if I want to try digging everything back out and see if I can get it done before it rains, or if I want to just call it quits. Because I know it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So, but these two getting done tonight and getting put up isn't that big a deal. I probably should have started with them realistically instead of starting with the 3 that set outside. But the 3 outside were the easy ones to do. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll make cleaning these another part of the video tomorrow, where I just kind of hand wash them. So, inside. I don't know. I guess we're going to figure that out. Either way, I'll be back with something. Well, there we go. One more cleaned up, one more done. So, as you guys know, the power washer is going to try talking over me. Hang on. As you guys already know, this car I built a long time ago. I think at this rate, me building this version of this car is going on about 4.5, 5 years ago. So it is not a new build at all. And it really doesn't need anything done to it, other than it needs some paint correction work. A few small things need cleaned up and refreshed. It could realistically just use a paint job in general. Other than that, this car didn't really need anything. There is a few things that's getting done because, well, on the other end of that, we all know a project car is always a project car and it's never truly finished. One of them being the intake that is on this is actually the one I want for the Corolla. So, and the intake that is currently sitting on the Corolla is the intake from this before I sold it and bought it back. So I want to get them swapped out. The headers that did not work on the Corolla should work on this. So I would like to install them and get a white pipe made. Basically get a whole new exhaust put on this car. And just kind of finish refining it, I guess is the best way to put it. There's very few things on this thing that I actually need to do other than just enjoy it. And I'm kind of very happy about that because I've spent a lot of time turning wrenches on this thing and never truly enough just enjoying it. The other day, I think, this is going to sound terrible considering pre to everything being in this body, it was in a blue Celica coupe. I drove that car all over the place. When I say all over the place, I mean we went to car shows every other weekend with that thing that were an hour plus drive away every time. And I never batted an eye at just taking it on them. This one, though, for some reason, up until recently, I never left Finley in it. Like, I couldn't trust it, and I don't know why. Finally, the other day, I sucked it up, and me and the daughter drove it about a half hour away, 45 minutes away, and drove it back. There and back, no issues, no problems. And I'm glad I finally am back to that point with this to where I feel like I can hop in and go anywhere I want again. Because frankly, I've missed that about this car. And I don't know why, with me being the one that built it, I just couldn't wrap my head around driving it that far. And I think it's because right before I tore it apart and put everything into the shell, I was having some drivability issues with the other car. Which all come down to me lowering it too much. And since then, it's been raised like 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches. So those drivability issues went away when going into this car. And I don't know. It took till recently to finally where I just sucked it up and said, no, I'm doing it. Because if I don't do it, I'm never going to do it. And, I mean, it went well, thankfully, especially considering I had the 3-year-old with me. But yeah, there's no real big plans for this car. You guys are definitely going to be seeing more of it on the page. Just because, A, it's going to be forever in the background. And, we're getting back around the car show season and stuff. So this will be going to some cruise nights. This will be going to Cars and Coffee with me here and there. Given the Cadillac is the cruise night car for the whole family, but we'll do 2 or 3 laps in the Cadillac, come back, swap it out for this or swap it out for the other Celica. And because we never stick with one car at cruise night, we always rotate through a few because, well, that's why would you not want to cruise around in the convertible for a little while when it's warm out with the top down, even though we got that big luxury land yacht back there to do it. And I mean, hell, there's even times where we'll come back and grab the truck and do a couple laps in the truck because the wife loves it. So yeah, while there is not a lot in store for this, you guys will probably definitely see a lot more of it. There'll be some more videos of me going through and trying to really clean it up. It may end up with those wheels back on it because those wheels are actually off of this car. So, and these Koenigs may end up on that. I don't know. I haven't quite decided yet. Definitely something that's in my head, obviously, or I wouldn't be talking about it. Why is this phone getting heavy? Hang on. There we go. I don't know what that was about, but my phone very suddenly got very heavy. So, but yeah, that's where we're at with that one. Hard to see over there, but I have another lip that used to be on it. Right over that thing right there. That is the lip. That's probably going to be going back on it as well. That is actually a very rare Euro option that I just have thrown over to the side, treating it like trash. Stupid of me, but it is what it is. So, alright, enough talking. We're going to get this outside, get it washed. No, the top will not be going up, so I got to be very careful while I do it. This is probably going to be just another time lapse again. Then we will talk about it, and then we got one other car to talk about, and then something that's going on in about 3 weeks. All right, and there we go. The convertible is all cleaned up. Oh, a little bit of old paint from under the hood that now won't come off the car. Yeah. So this thing is kind of at the moment in about the same place as that Celica. I'm not talking over you, god dang it. There aren't any huge plans for this car right now. Other than it's very leaky and it's got like a 2-pack a day smoking habit. So I need to figure out something engine wise for it soon. I'm hoping to get at least this summer, if not next summer, out of it before I really need to do something. And at that point, I don't know what that something is I want to do yet. It does need new struts. This one is very bad. So it kind of limits how much I drive it at the moment, on top of weather, because that top is useless. There's no back windows in it, and it doesn't seal up against side windows for crap either, so putting it up is pointless. It has some small bits of body repair that need done, but nothing crazy. I'd like to get the top redone on it, but that's something I'll probably never be able to do myself. I'll take it to a shop and have it done. Then this is, I gotta be honest with you, this is not, maybe it's not my favorite car out of all of them, but it is my favorite lazy summer day cruising car. And that's because it's an automatic, it's super simple to drive, the whole family fits in it, and it's just, it works great for what we use it for. And that really took me from the verge of, I was debating on selling it maybe about 3 years ago, I guess. 2.5, 3 years ago. Because I just was not happy with the way it ran. Wasn't happy with the way it drove. Just the whole automatic thing killed me. And I didn't like it. And as I was talking about that, we had a really nice day. And I didn't have any other convertible anymore. The wife wanted to go around to some yard sales. And it was shortly after Sis was really big enough that she could fit in a booster seat and it not seem insane to do. So we're talking like, this was like last summer. Yeah, it was like shortly after she had turned 3. She was big enough that like I didn't feel super uncomfortable doing it. And we drove around in it for a whole day, going to yard sales, going to some stores, and then I got sick. I had everything that went on with the birds. It messed up my lungs and I couldn't breathe right, and I was off work for 3 weeks. Well, in that 3-week time frame, a vast majority of my driving was done in this. But anyway, so I was right after I got sick with the birds. I spent about 3 weeks off work, and that whole time I was off work, I guess I was very fortunate for the fact the weather was amazing pretty much that entire time. Me and the kids drove this thing everywhere while I was off because of the fact that I could get, the big thing the doctor said I needed to do was get as much fresh air as possible. And with the birds still being kind of in the main living area of the house at that point, I couldn't do that. Anyone else ever get paranoid when one of their neighbors that normally doesn't drive down the alley, that's doing stuff in the neighborhood, suddenly drives down, just slow creep looking at everything? I have trust issues with people. Yeah, I couldn't do that, and frankly, that point in time took that car from being the least favorite car I had in the driveway that I was debating on getting rid of to being, realistically, my favorite car. Because I actually got to enjoy it, and it made me realize that if I got rid of it, I didn't have a car at that point. I could throw the whole family in. We could go cruise around for a day, do whatever we wanted to do, and enjoy it. I didn't have that. That car was it. And as a lot of other car guys that are family guys will tell you, you can enjoy your hobby a lot on your own. But when you can enjoy it with your family, you get to enjoy it a lot more. And I'm very fortunate in the fact that, my kids have no issue cramming themselves maybe semi-uncomfortably in the back of a convertible that's a little too small for all of us, and go out and cruise around for the day. I'm sure the 13-year-old's getting a little tired of it because, or 14-year-old, my God, he's getting old. Sure, he's getting a little tired of it because he barely fits in the back. But, it is what it is. And he doesn't complain because, normally there's food at the end of it, and he's all about that. So am I. But that made me realize I couldn't sell that car because of the fact that I'd lose that, and I wasn't okay with that. So that took that car from being how can I make a profit on this thing quick, to I don't think you can offer me enough money to get me to sell it. So, and then I started taking it places, and for a car that within the Toyota community is so underappreciated because it's considered to be like the ugliest Celica ever made, it gets a lot of love everywhere I take it. Everyone loves it. They think it's the coolest thing in the freaking world. They've never seen a Celica convertible, which I've been getting that a lot with this one as well. And that blows my mind. I've never seen a Celica convertible. I was like, I've been driving it around Findlay for the last 3 years. What are you talking about? Same with that. Or the other end of that, they're one of the rare people that they had a family member that had one of these. And they've got tons of old stories of riding around in it as kids, and it's awesome. So, yeah. It's definitely become I will never get rid of that car. But back to the basic plans with it. As of right now, I would like to lower it a little bit, if we're being real. I know some AE86 parts will kind of cross between the two, and I might be able to use a set of AE86 lowering springs to put on it to lower it a couple inches. And the oddball thing for me is, as you guys have mentioned earlier, my brother-in-law has my Nova doing an LS swap in it. Me and him's actually talked about doing the baby LS in this and putting what would be the 4.8 liter in it, the smallest of the LS's, with 700 R4, which would be just about perfect in this thing, because this thing doesn't need a ton of power, and frankly I don't know if it'd handle a ton of power. So I really think I could get away with a 250-300 horse LS swap with a 700 R4 to have a 4-speed automatic overdrive transmission, and basically just kind of leave the rest of the car unchanged, because these brakes, even at that power level, are going to be fine, because they stop this thing on a dime with the 22R in it. I've also contemplated trying to find a 22RE and going down that route, but the transmission that's in it currently, the overdrive doesn't work, and it's for a solenoid that's unobtainium. And I don't want to go crazy changing the rest of the car. Now, that being said, I could swap it to AE86 brakes, and I think an AE86 disc brake rear end, and I could have disc brakes all the way around. I could do bigger brakes up front, but I don't feel that it's necessary. I think the way the car is will work just fine as long as I keep the power within the realm of reason. Now, given with a small LS in it, I'm still going to be able to shred those tires in a hurry, but the car is not going to feel unsafe with that level of power stopping with these brakes. So yeah, but there we go. That wraps that up. That's what's in my head for this. Now we'll talk about We got one more car that we're going to talk about that is here, and we'll do that now. This thing. This is my 75 MGB that you guys see me pick up not that long ago from my buddy Ryan. It is in okay condition, and I have been on a back and forth about selling it because I don't know how quick I'm going to get to it, and obviously it is in questionable at best condition. And while the body is solid, it does need some floor pan work. It does need some floor pan work on both sides. But if I put the points back in it that I stole for the 80 before I sold it, and throw some gas on the carb, it fires up and it runs. And it will move, and I've got everything to redo the brakes. So I'm at a crossroads with it, because part of me just wants to get rid of it and not deal with it and not have the project, because I'm not going to touch this until the Corolla's done, or at least the Corolla is driving, I should say, not done. But the other part of me goes, if I sell this, I'm just going to buy another one. So why sell this one when I have it sitting here? It's not hurting anything. I'm not pressed to do anything with it. It's not costing me any money. So there's no real reason to get rid of it when I can just take my time, kind of piece it back together, throw a part out of here, throw a part out of there, and have me a fun little beater MG that I can kind of do whatever I want with. And as long as I keep the interior simple, who cares if it sits outside with no top on it? It'll be fine. So there's that. Then obviously there's the RAV4. You guys are going to be seeing us take a trip in that here soon. That's what we're going to talk about next. And the Tundra didn't get washed because, well, I don't know how much longer the weather's going to hold out. So that being said, let's get some things picked up quick before it does start to rain. All right, guys. So the last little bit. Next month, it's about 3 weeks away at this point, is Beat the Creek. And the plan is to take this truck, that truck, and this truck with me and do some videoing down there. And hopefully I maybe see some of you guys there. That'd be awesome. But yeah, that is the trip you guys are going to see us taking in the RAV4. There's going to be a video pre-Beat the Creek of us planning the trip to Beat the Creek, and me going through each one of the trucks to make sure they're all ready to go, as well as getting the RAV4 packed, the RAV4 itself ready to go, because it's going to need an oil change and stuff. So we'll go through everything that is involved in prepping for a trip like that, because it's about 3.5, 4 hours there. So not a long trip, but everything needs to be prepared for a weekend with the RCs, the vehicle prepped for the trip, and how exactly we're going to pack 4 of us and enough RCs for 4 people, because those are just the ones I'm taking for me. That doesn't include the wife or the kids. So, and yeah. Then last thing to show you is I've been working down here in the basement a little bit, and kind of proud of this, even though I haven't had time to put it on camera. I know I said I haven't had time to put it on camera, and then this is back here. This is from me doing a TikTok live the other night. I added to the scale course. Really need to get back here and do a video with it. I believe I've got some more rocking stuff for the scale course coming as well. So really needing to get back here and do an updated video. But that'll be coming soon. So yeah, but thank you guys for watching. I know this is kind of a long-winded video for what it is, but I wanted to give everyone an update on everything, since I know there's been a lot going on. I got rid of a lot of RCs. Very clearly been doing some other stuff. And just kind of wanted to show where I'm at with some things and show what the plans are. Not just for you guys, but I kind of needed a day, or in this case, two, to just say out loud the things I want to get done and how I want to get them done. So, thank you guys for watching. See you next time. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment, blah, 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 blah. You know what to do. If you're watching this, you watch a bunch of other YouTube as well. So, see you guys next time. Have fun.